everybody, thanks for dropping in and thank you for your patience. This is my first one of these kind of things, these videos. So I just felt inspired. I thought I would throw a video out there. It's been a long time coming. So if you've landed here, then maybe you've either met me, you've either worked with me, or you've come across me in some of the things that I've done, particularly historically. So one of the major things I did a very long time ago was the video for Cats, Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats. And I was only a teenager when I did this. And actually the story starts in 1996 when I won a competition, and it was a huge whirlwind surprise of a thing. So I entered the competition and didn't really think I'd get anywhere. I was just a country girl from the northwest of England, somewhere kind of nearby Liverpool and Manchester. So this little town of Northwich, which just on the map somewhere in there if you look for it, is where I came from. I went to a good school and did loads of music, but was interested in science, and I was going to be a vet, and I was going to go and study science and do a very sensible job. And then I entered this competition all those years ago on the kind of the whim of my music teacher at the school and other people I used to sing in the local church, and they got together and said, why don't we do this? So we did. And after the third attempt in 1996, I won, and it was with the BBC, and I was thrown into this world where I was recording stuff for the radio and for the television, and it was all so starry and new and fun. I loved it. And it turns out that other people would hear this stuff on the radio. Of course, you've no idea who's listening. My parents got a telephone call one day from the Really Useful group. They were asking after me, and they wanted to know if I could come all the way down to London. Can she come to London to sing to Andrew Lloyd Webber? I was like, what? That's so crazy. So the answer was no, but believe it or not. No, because I was doing exams. No, she can't possibly come. She can't possibly leave her exams. And so that was that. We thought, well, that's a shame. Anyway, surely enough, a few months later, they phoned again and said, don't worry, is she available now? And they sent me all the materials for Cats, for the part of Jemima. And they had already shot the video, so they sent me the video with the beautiful, beautiful singer, actress, dancer from Belgium. I hope I pronounce her name correctly. Verla Castellane, I think. So, and I was transfixed by her beautiful, beautiful dancing and acting and face, everything. I thought it was just so magical. And it was my job to lip sync, match my lips to what she was doing, and to sing in the part. I'd never done this before. I didn't know that I'd be good at it. But as it turned out, maybe it's up to you, maybe you agree, but it seemed to go well. And I went down to the studio in London, and it was all very exciting. And I did these recordings in the studio, and I couldn't see. I don't know, those of you, maybe you know what a studio looks like, probably. You probably know what a studio looks like, right? And there was the mixing desk and where the technicians sit. The sound technicians, and then you have the glass screen, and then inside the recording booth where you have like a microphone and what looks like egg boxes on the walls, all this stuff. So I was in there, but I couldn't see through the glass because they had a big projector screen up playing the video whilst I was singing, so that I could match my lips, my singing, to her movements. So they were talking to me through headphones, great big headphones like you see on the TV. And they said to me, Helen, could you just come in for a moment? So I had to go outside and then back in again. They said, there's somebody we want you to meet. And I walk in, and there is Andrew Lloyd Webber, listening to me sing. I couldn't believe it. It was like so surreal, totally crazy. So it was a really wonderful experience, and I had no idea as a young teenager what this really meant. No clue. I lived quite a sensible and kind of sheltered upbringing, beautiful, countryside upbringing. So I didn't really understand the consequences of what I was doing at the time. Anyway, so all this year went on, and I had a lot of interesting experiences. Maybe I'll share some in future videos. We'll see. See how this goes. And I then decided to go on and study music after a year of doing so much singing. It seemed like a logical step, and I went on. In the end, I decided to study classical training at the Royal College of Music in London. Again, maybe I'll tell you a bit more about that story in a future video. I embarked on a different story, different part of my life, and I had no idea that, because my face wasn't on the video, right? So I had no idea that my singing would really make any difference to anyone or impact anyone. I was just a country girl from Northwich. And then these odd things started happening. I was getting sometimes mail and then emails, but there was a big gap, it didn't happen right away. Then I started to get these emails, these random emails that would come in. And those of you who remember back in the late 90s and, the early noughties, this technological stuff was still quite early in a way. It was happening, but it perhaps wasn't certainly not as mainstream as it is now. And I was getting these emails from people from all over the world, and I was like, what's going on? And they were saying, was it you? You were the voice of Jemima on the Cats DVD. And I was like, I would always try to reply. Apologies if you were somebody who emailed me in those days, and if you didn't receive a reply, my sincerest apologies. I didn't quite understand what this meant, that this was connecting with people on that level. It took a little while to sink into the grey matter that maybe people were interested in this, and that maybe I should connect with you. So it was a crazy, crazy time. And what happened, as it turned out, is somewhere along the lines of miscommunication, my name was spelt a little bit incorrectly on the credits. So I think they spelt my name with an IE on the end, and it's an EY. So easily done. And so people were wondering who this person was. It's me. Hi. Helen Massey. So some people seemed crazily to have the persistence to want to find out more about this person who'd sung the part of Jemima on the DVD for Cats. So it's strange because I didn't mean anything by it, but I sort of slightly disconnected from that part of my life. I went on and studied, the time that you study at sort of university or conservatoire is a massively informative time, and didn't really connect with that time from when I'd done the recording with Andrew Lloyd Webber and when I'd been Choir Girl of the Year. I felt my singing was different, my personality was different in a way. So it's a strange and surreal experience that later, as you grow a bit older and wiser, and you discover, wow, that was kind of impactful, and that was impactful not just for me but for other people. And I still get emails, and some of you are still connecting with me here on YouTube. In fact, the real penny drop came when I found a YouTube montage of my singing that somebody else had put up, and it was so crazy. Somebody had put in that time to make a montage of all of the parts of Jemima's part, and underneath, sure enough, were all these comments and a whole thread of conversation about this and about, of course, Verla and myself. And it was quite an experience, I can tell you, to read some of those comments. Some just took my breath away in terms of how complimentary they were. Others, shall we say, were more interesting. so watch out, people read that stuff. Anyway, it was, I think, the start of an awakening for me when I realized, well, yeah, this is still connecting with people. It's still touching people, and maybe I need to reclaim this part of my life and what I've done. So better late than never. Here I am, and those of you who are connecting with me now will or may have seen some of my other videos. Of course, my voice sounds a little different now. There's a story to that, which I am really happy to share with you at some point. First of all, I just want to introduce myself. Hi, this is the person behind that voice from, granted, many years ago, some decades older now, I must admit. But I'm also in the process of digging out some old recordings of my singing from that time, because the fortunate thing is I do have some. They're not available currently, at least, on the likes of Spotify or iTunes or anything like that. So yeah, I just have them in my own little archives. So I'll look into releasing some of those for those of you who are interested. And if you have been watching this video and if you've enjoyed it, do feel free to subscribe if you'd like to, or comment, or, you know, it's quite a joy to reconnect like this now with some of you who've been listening to my voice for years. It still blows my mind. So hopefully the change in singing style isn't too much of a jar for you. I try to put things now together that maybe represent the whole variety of what I like to sing. Opera, of course, singing opera is my great love. So, and classical music of all kinds. Really, it is my absolute life's purpose, I think. So thanks for watching. Without further ado, I will sign off, but feel free to subscribe, feel free to say hi, and I look forward to connecting with you again in the not too distant future. Loads of love.